Pauline Reese Show.
Yeah.
Thank you. Most important announcement, my daughters have now discovered the sonic ice machine in the kitchen.
I have a snow cone machine, too.
Yeah, they spotted that as well. She was like, Mom, peach.
It's already in negotiation.
Okay.
Yeah, there's already some negotiations going on behind the scenes. You don't know. Talk to the boss over there, apparently, because he has the snow cone capability.
Yeah, he's getting that.
Oh, so we've got 4 more hours, y'all. Hang in there. Just hang in. So I'm going to play a song that... my daughters are requesting things on my watch as I'm standing here. They're like, approve the app. I know you're busy. That's what's happening right now on my watch. My dad told me when I was probably 3 years old, 4 years old. I remember I was really little and we watched sci-fi movies a lot together. And he said, one day people are going to be able to talk to each other on their watch. It was such a big deal. Yeah. And then 2020, is going to be the year that something big happens, But he was thinking in technology. Yeah, something big happened, all right. Oh, my gosh. So this song is a tune that I wrote for Michael Martin Murphey because... at that time, no woman had ever played Steamboat Springs, Colorado, that big music festival up there. And he said, well, why don't you come up and just sit in during my set? And I was like, okay, all right, because I've been doing that for a long time. Since I was a teenager, just 13 years ago now, and time really flies. And so I wrote this for him as a thank you on my way up. Because he also routed me with some other shows because, musicians were like, yeah, but that's a lot of gas money to drive all the way up to Steamboat. He was like, well, I tell you what, call this guy at the Motherlode Saloon and you can go play there. And then you can play this place and you can play this place in New Mexico and play this. Great. So I did that all the way up, made it up there. And he failed to tell me that this was an intimate performance where he was just playing by himself and playing guitar. So he said, meet me here at this time, and he pulled me backstage. So I'm standing there, I'm like, yeah, this will be fun, with the band and everything. I'm super pumped. And he said, oh, no, it's a songwriter thing. I was like, oh, what? And so he said, yeah, there's 4 of us, and that's your stool. I was like... no pressure. Thanks for prepping me. Meanwhile, I'm breastfeeding backstage, Henley. Yeah. Much better than on stage.
I don't know. You might have made more.
So I'm like, no pressure. I'm like, so who are the other I have a cover, by the way, just to give you, if you're imagining things, I had a cover, okay? And I'm like, so who are the other artists? And he's like, oh, Bruce Robeson and Larry Gatlin. I'm like, no pressure. Okay, let me just finish up here and I'll be right out. Hang on. Just a second. Hang on. Someone hold my baby and watch this. So that's how I started my whole tour, hold my baby and watch this. Because the guys had a tour called Hold My Beer and Watch This. I was like, hold my beer, hold my baby. You have wives and girlfriends holding all your stuff. I have nobody. I'm holding all the babies. So I went out and I had written this song on the way up. And so at the very end of the night, things were going well. And I had also known Larry Gatlin since I was a teenager. And so he said, why don't you finish out the night? And I was like, because you have like 30 more number 1 hits that you probably need to play so people don't hate me. Maybe. And he said, no, you've earned it. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm going to play a tribute song then to the songwriters before me. It's about following your dreams. If anybody remembers Michael Martin Murphey's songs from the 70s, this is kind of like Wildfire, Part 2. And it's about a horse named Dreamcatcher, which the guys gave to me on the road. I'll tell you about that later. as you sleep upon your pillow, while the stars shine in the sky. You are rising through the willows, and you feel like you can fly. There's a place high in the mountains where a horse runs free and wild. Climb upon her, you travel swiftly to where dreams can come alive. You must walk the road not taken. You can see for tears you've cried, even when your heart is breaking. Ride, drink, and to ride. There are shadows that surround you, whispers in the night. Dreamcatcher, she keeps on running, takes you high into the light. You must walk the road not taken. You can see for tears you've cried, even when your heart is breaking. Ride, dream, get to ride. There are shadows that surround you, whispers in the night. Dreamcatcher, she keeps on running, takes you high into the light. You must walk the road not taken. You can see for tears you've cried, even when your heart is breaking. Ride, dream, get to ride. Ooh, ride.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's all I was looking for when I was 7 years old on my parents' dinner table. When I saw what I was looking for, I was like, but wait, hang on. Somewhere over the rainbow. They're like, sit down and eat your dinner. Shut up. My God. Every report card I have from grade school, when they used to give it to you on paper made from trees, in case you're wondering what that was like. I'm in the digital age, y'all. It's awful. It's terrible being a parent in the digital age. All of my report cards said, talks too much in class, talks too much in class. I was like, yeah, because I was trying to entertain. It's very boring. Very boring in school. Mm-hmm. And now Henley has the digital version of that. They're like, can't be quiet, can't sit still, talks too much in class. I was like, maybe you shouldn't be a brain surgeon, baby. You're going to get bored. She said, no, they're squishy. I was like, that's not how it works. It's true. She started her own soap company because I've taught them. It took you a second. Now you're like, ugh. You can't squish brains if you want to be a brain surgeon. It's not slime. Look at it. It's just so amazing. But she started her own soap company,
And we've always had little entrepreneurial things because I want them to know how the world works and how economics work and things like that. Because things don't always work out as you plan. If I had those signs with the lights going like this. So you just have to trust in God and have a lot of faith. And I keep having to get on that diving board and jump into the deep end, even though it's scary, and relearn how to swim. So I have a fun little story. When Henley was here last, I think she was 7 or 8. And as I was setting up, she was going along and like playing with the chairs. At the end of the night, Helen and Randy and I were sitting in the living room, and she said, yeah, we sat there for a long time. I said, yeah, we were visiting, and she was stacking the money like I showed her, you crisscross it so you can count quicker. And then she came in and she said, Mom, I have something to tell you. And I said, what? She said, we're short. And I said, what? And Randy was like, did she just say that you're short? Yeah, and Helen was like, oh my gosh, what is she talking about? And she said, I counted all the chairs and I counted all the people, and if it was this much for everybody, then I think we're short. So she does.
Yeah.
And so I tell that story all the time, and now we're back and she could give a crap less. It's great. She's like, is it going to pay for some new AirPods? Because this one's acting weird. Is it going to do that? That's all they care about now. Being a mom in digital age is awful. Because I'm like one of those cusp millennials, like the comedian talks about. Liza, and she's like, yeah, where you still know how to use the old phones, So yeah, it's awful. And then like during all of the 2020 stuff, when everything was shut down, they're like, you can still do homework if you just log on. And then you have to log on to a different site for almost every class, it feels like. And at one point it was that way, and I was like, no, I'm just not doing it. My kids are failing. We're moving to the Appalachian Mountains, and I'm going to teach them a 4-stringed instrument. I'm going to find a nice boy who chops wood. I'm done. I'm done. You can't make me do it. All right, so I'm going to play another song that I actually wrote this one with Michael Martin Murphey. And I fancy myself a poker player. I do. I like it. It's fun. Apparently there's some church gambling going on, but it all goes back into great causes. I'm not going to name any names, but that's pretty awesome. You know who you are. It's the best story ever. So this is a tune about the gambling on life. It's called High Stakes. And my version of it, Michael and I wrote it, and his son Ryan was involved in writing this as well. We were all sitting in the same room writing on different songs. And this one, Ryan cut it, I cut it, Michael cut it. And then the first time Michael and I got together, he said, let me hear your version. And I said, no, let me hear your version first. And so he played it for me, and he did this bluegrass version. You're in between the earth and sky, not too low but not too high, you're all alone in the unknown. And it was super cool, and I'm like, whoa, that's what you were hearing in your head? Let me show you what I was hearing. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's musician talk. It's musician talk. That's what you were hearing the whole time? Oh my gosh. You must have been drinking coffee. I was having a Bloody Mary. No, I'm kidding. So we were sitting there, and he said, let me hear your version. I said, okay. I said, this is like you in the 1970s with leather pants and conchos up the side, okay? So get ready, because it's nothing like what you had going on. And this is on my latest album. And he ended up making this the title of his second to last album. You're in between the earth and sky, not too low but not too high. You're all alone, the unknown. Don't look back and don't take stock. Let it reel, let it rock. You're in the zone, so let it go. When you're coming round the curve and you start to lose your nerve, take the dare. Don't be scared. Stomp the pedal to the floor. Give it just a little bit more. You're almost there. Oh, you're almost there. You don't understand the cards you're holding in your hand starts to shake. High stakes. You're feeling like a fool 'cause you're breaking every rule, but it feels great. High stakes. When your feet are to the fire and the flames are rushing higher and it gets hot, well, give it all you got. When they're tearing down your name, girl, don't be ashamed, don't take the blame. Get in the game. 'Cause heaven is so close and hell is there for those who wait around. So don't wait around. Go get up and end the fight when you know that it's right and stand your ground. Yeah, knock 'em down. You don't understand the cards you're holding in your hand starts to shake. High stakes. You're feeling like a fool 'cause you're breaking every rule, but it feels great. High stakes. Between the earth and somewhere in the sky, not too low, but not too high. You don't understand the cards you're holding in your hand starts to shake. High stakes. You're feeling like a fool 'cause you're breaking every rule, but it feels great. High stakes. Yeah, ain't it great? High stakes. Thank you. When I was a little kid, my mom would say, just like Dolly Parton, honey, you have very big lungs and very large hair. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it. It's all inherited. Well, I'm going to play you a song that I wrote with Waylon Payne. And the first time I realized what his name sounded like, I said it on stage and started laughing. Everybody was looking at me. I was like, Waylon Payne. Like he's wailing in pain. It's terrible. Another one like that is Terry Allen named his son Bale. So Bale Allen. And so every time he calls, I resist. Every time. I will not. I refuse to say, hey, Bale. Not doing it. I'm not doing it, Terry. You're a great songwriter. You named your kids Bale so that everybody would go, hey, Bale. I'm like, good evening. It's nice to be appreciated. That's what my watch just told me. It is. Thank you. Shut up.
So I'm like, how are you, Bale? What's going on, Bale? What's up? Good evening, Bale. He's like, you're not going to say it, are you? He's like, no, never, never. So this is one that I wrote with Waylon Payne. And his dad was Jody Payne, and Jody Payne played guitar for Willie Nelson. And so there's a little joke going around that Waylon didn't know his real dad, and it could be Jody Payne, Willie Nelson, or Chris Christopherson, because it was the 60s. So. So this is a song that we wrote. So my ex-husband and I, you're supposed to, this is the part in the show where you go, which one?
Which one?
Yeah.
Thank you. All in unison, like hee-haw. Which one? The second one. We lost our third child to a miscarriage. And I didn't realize the impact that would have. But when you have two healthy children, and I was pretty far along, and to lose one was just absolutely devastating for both of us, but mainly me at that time in our marriage. And I just really desperately wanted a son. And so I lost the child at my sister's house, and there are all these questions like, well, what are you going to do with him? And it was awful. Okay. And I know a lot of women have been through this, and we don't talk about it because it's just not in our culture. But we can talk about all these other things in rap music and on the news, but we can't talk about traumatic things that happen to women in our bodies. So I just felt that it needed to be heard that no matter what, this was a life. And once you have children, you would never, ever want to get rid of that life. And that's just my opinion. I don't care how the life got there. And people might judge me for that. But once you have two healthy ones, you would never want to get rid of that life. I promise you. And so during that time, I ended up bleeding out in the miscarriage and having a stroke. So when I woke up, I couldn't understand speech. I was in the hospital. And so everybody was Charlie Brown's teacher, you know, the wah, 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 wah. I was like, no idea what you're telling me right now. And so that went on for a while. And I just made this mental decision that this was unacceptable and that I had things to do on planet Earth. And so I was like, no, unacceptable, body, brain, whatever's going on. And that's part of the reason that my daughter wants to become a brain surgeon and my other daughter wants to become a pediatrician, is because of things like this that have happened and they've seen happen. And so I just got up every day and I worked out for 30 seconds the first day because my iron was so low I couldn't breathe and I couldn't understand things and I had migraines and it was the most terrible thing I've ever experienced. And not to mention, I was extremely depressed from losing my child. So Michael Murphy called me and said, hey, you can't handle being an independent artist with what you've just been through, so why don't you come on tour with me? So that's what I ended up doing. And I got on the bus and I opened his shows because I could, no matter what, I could play music and play my guitar, even though I couldn't understand half the things people were saying. And I was like, wow. And I have a friend who is extremely deaf. She knows who she is. And so she taught me that if somebody's talking to you and you can't understand them, you just go, uh-huh. So I did that the whole tour. People were talking to me and in and out I could understand things. And I would go, uh-huh. Okay. So what it taught me was I feel like we need to be more grateful for those moments. I am not Carrie Underwood. I don't have that career. But what I have is two children that I absolutely adore. And I have that pleasure of being able to raise them and to do what I love to do and to perform for people and bring happiness and joy and hope into their lives. So for you to be here tonight means the world to me.
It really does. So that's what this song is all about. And see if you can get it, because it's a little bit deep. It's not like very on purpose, okay? It's not like the washing machine broke down, then the truck did too. It's not how I write. It's not how I write. But I just wanted my girls to know that even if I did die on that day, that no matter what, I would be with them spiritually, because I believe in that. And I said, I'll be with you. Just look for me. I'll be where the sweet grass sways.
If I could see what you've seen through your eyes, where the sweet grass sways and the eagle flies. You've worked this place, you plowed this land, with the sweat of your brow and the toil of your hands, and you've marked it with your graves, where the sweet grass sways, where the sweet grass sways. Blood's been spilled and hearts poured out, and tears of rain through the cold and the drought. But the seeds of hope that I now hold, and it's up to me to make them grow, and I'll see my babies raised where the sweet grass sways, where the sweet grass sways. Sun sets and the angels come, and the plow stands still, but there's work to be done. But the ground is rich and the roots are strong, and as long as you're here, will you carry it on? Will you carry it on? And I always will remain where the sweet grass sways, where the sweet grass sways, where the sweet grass sways.
Thank you. Thank you. So, in going through a lot of the things that I've been through in my country music career, if I had just hopped on a bus when I was supposed to go through on Nashville Star, I turned down the contract, by the way. I'm either really smart or really dumb. It's one, however you look at it. But I couldn't have dated Blake Shelton. No offense, buddy. No offense.
I would love to write songs with him, but couldn't have dated him, couldn't have married him. But I turned down that contract because I had integrity and because I was already making a living. Why would I do that? And I got one hell of a career of songwriting out of it. So my friend Pat York and I wrote this one because I was feeling sorry for myself once, a couple times. And and we love to do that as musicians. We're like, oh my God, poor me. It's so hard. But, and it is, but we get moments like this where we get to send out energy, and then you guys send the energy back, and then I get to send it back. And it's one of the most wonderful professions that I think a human could have, emotionally and spiritually. It's a great thing. So Pat, he said, I'm like that one-legged, one-eyed dog named Lucky. And he really is. He really is. I think he's had leukemia 3 times. He has no eyesight. He's got knee problems. And he had a hip replacement. And most recently he had a tumor in his brain and had brain surgery. He's like, I'm still alive. I'm like, oh my God. And he's an old cowboy. He was a Resistol representative. He worked with Copenhagen. He's best friends with Monty Hawkeye Henson and one of my best friends. And I love him to death. And he had this song. I was touring, doing a bunch of shows with Bad Company Rodeo, the rodeo company. And Ryan Bingham was opening my shows acoustically. And I would let him use my band every now and then. And then he got his own band together and met somebody in LA and has a career. Won some Grammys. Call me, jerk. Don't be that guy. And so, anyways, we went down to the arena because we were all hungry. Heard this guy was selling cabrito. What is that, cutie? Oh, it's goat taco. Yes, thank you. She's translating for me, my cheapoo. And so Pat had these songs, and I was like, whoa. What is that? He said, well, it's not finished at all. He just kind of had a concept for it. And I said, oh, I like that. I like that a lot. He said, well, do you want to finish writing it with me? I said, sure. So 10 years went by because I was busy. I had ex-husbands and babies and a lot going on. And so one day after going through the miscarriage and stroke and all these other things that were going on in my life at that time, behind the scenes that I never wanted to talk about, I found that song. I was trying to organize things, and that song just fell out of a folder, and I went, oh, now I get it. now I understand. And so I finished the song in 2 minutes, and I called Pat, and I said, hey, check this out, and I started playing it for him. He said, I'll be damned, that's it. You finally finished it. I said, yeah, it took me 10 years and 2.5 minutes. This one's on my new album. If somebody would have told me that it was going to take that long to write songs sometimes when I first started out, I would have quit. I'll become a doctor or a lawyer. Woke up this morning with my head in a mess. This could be one of those days. Just when I'm thinking about leaving this place, this could be one of those days. How will I know when it's time to go? I take 2 steps up, then I take 3 back. And I've seen people leave and never look back. Well, this could be one of those days. One of those days when I'm feeling kind of low. One of those days I might find out where to go. I try to get high, but I reach a brand new low. Well, this could be one of those days. This world keeps spinning round and round. This could be one of those days. You're right side up, but your life is upside down. This could be one of those days. Yeah. One of those days when your tail is in a crack. They ask for an inch and they take it all back. Just when you thought that you had a little slack. Well, this could be one of those days. One of those days when you're feeling kind of low. One of those days you might find you try to get high, but you reach a brand new low. Well, this could be one of those days. This could be one of those days. This could be one of those. This could be one of those. This could be one of those days. This could be one of those days.
Thank you.
Happy song.
It's time. It's time. Got to get my D back up here, y'all. Those are the only two D's I have in my life. Here and sometimes up here. And that double D. It's the only D's I have. Thanks, Mom. I'm going to play a song. This one's off my latest album. If I don't have to have a lawsuit, it's on my latest album. I'm not afraid of those anymore. I used to be. I was like, oh my gosh, a lawsuit. I'm like, no, after this many years in the music business, I'm like, bring it on. You know what? I'll represent myself. It's fine. It's true, isn't it? Sad, but true. You have to be a doctor and a lawyer, all this stuff in the music business. It's true, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it's true. I mean, think about it. You know, like in Steamboat, everybody's like drinking, like, oh no, they're dehydrated and it's the altitude. Yeah. It's true. You have to be a doctor. Lawyer, lawsuit, fine. Come on. I have like 3 lawyers. It's great. So this song, I really love this song. And I put this beat to this song because I always want to do something different on the radio because it all sounds the same to me. I could be wrong. That's what we're taught in real estate. I could be wrong, and this is just my opinion, but everything sounds the same, and it's very boring. And I can say that because I don't have a label or a manager or anything, so bless your heart. So I put a Bo Diddley beat to this. Do you remember who Bo Diddley?
Yeah.
Yay! So yeah, it's just kind of... Which is cool, because that's what people really get into with songs is the beat. That's why rap is so popular. That's why my daughter's like, I love Eminem. I'm like, I love Eminems too, honey. They're fantastic. Especially the red ones. Those are my favorite. She's like, you're so stupid, Mom. I love having teenagers.
Well, honey, here I come. I've got a wagon load, a million different words. I'm putting on the show. I'm peddling my heart. He sees my careful walk caught in a gypsy stare, and I know just the thing. Only if you dare step right on through, and I would do it all for you. Do it all, I'd do it all for you. Medicine woman, I've traveled all the land in a depression line. I bought and sold my love one too many times, but now those days are gone, and all the things I own, you are the one I'm needing, and your snake oil smile, cure for my disease. It breaks my heart in two, but I would do it all for you. Do it all, I'd do it all for you. 'Cause I can see your fever rising, and I've got all this love inside. You're on a ledge with your heart in your hands. You've got a bleeding heart. I'm a medicine woman. Oh, medicine woman. Oh, I would do it all for you. Do it all, I'd do it all for you. Do it all, I'd do it all for you. Do it all, I'd do it all for you. Medicine woman. Oh, medicine woman. Oh.
Thank you so much. 3 more hours, right?
All right, 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Oh, my Dreamcatcher story?
Yes, please.
So, the band, Michael Mark Murphy's band, when I was on the road, knew what had happened with our third child, and we were at the Quahati Museum near Amarillo, and I always loved watching Michael perform, and his band, they're always top-notch. His bass player, Gary Roller, had a feather, he still does, on the end of his bass, and so they got the Dreamcatcher and said, here, this is for your guitar, and I put it on my guitar, and they said, never quit following your dreams. So anytime I think about putting my guitar down, I'm like, oh, I can't. I have a Dreamcatcher on my guitar. I'm forced.
Now, how many years ago was that?
That was 2016, I believe. And then, because while I was out on tour, I lost my dad to Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. And I was not well enough to travel back to be at his funeral. So, you know, and I can be like, hey, could you guys turn the bus around and go back? So, yeah, I wasn't able to function, to get on a plane or figure anything out. So I said, I'll never forget this. I was at a big concert hall with Michael, and I said, would you mind if I sang a song for my dad? And he said, of course. He said, if you want to talk about it. I said, I can't talk. I'm not going to be able to talk about my dad, who supported my career since the 5th grade when I sang America the Beautiful. And he was like, oh, she can sing. And put his time and energy and effort, as did my mom, into my career. And my mom still does today. Actually, my mom and I live together, and we're raising my girls. She's 82 years old, by the way. Yeah, I know. She's alive. It's amazing. And so I said, I can't talk about it, but I can sing about it. And so right before I walked out, he said, look at this. You're never going to believe it. Michael grabbed me and he said, come here. I said, okay, what? And he said, look, above the stage door to go out. It said, where words fail, music speaks.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, Dad's here. I can sing. So how much time do we have? 2? 1, 2? 3? Oh, you're squeezing it out here. Get that tip jar out, Randy.
I put the tip jar in. We got it now. Y'all did know we have a tip jar, right?
Yeah.
6 for number 6.
Yes.
Your
Yeah.
show, so you decide.
All right. So I'm gonna play a song since we gotta pep it up after that talk. Why'd you bring that up? Okay. I'm gonna sing one for my ex-husband.
Which one?
Thank you. We're gonna get this together, guys. Let's try it again. Okay. Because it's Saturday night. Okay, we're supposed to be awake. Stay awake with me. I get up at 5:30 every morning. Come on. Sometimes I go to bed at 5:30. It's great life. Okay. I wrote this for my ex-husband.
Which one?
See, I think if you draw it out like that whole East Texas accent that you were hearing, which one? I think that's much better.
I have one question. Is this a Rachel Stacey song or what?
No. Oh,
Fit right in.
so she actually sings this song that I wrote. That's what you're thinking
Are
of.
you going to tell them what we were talking about?
No, I was. Do you want me to? I can announce it.
I think you should.
Really? Okay. So we're talking about Rachel Stacey is one of my very, very good friends. She's an amazing guitar player, fiddle player, songwriter, and she's gorgeous also. And I get tips from her on how to do my lashes and whatnot. And she gets tips on how to shape her cowboy hats. It's a good pairing, y'all. So I call her the LA cowgirl because she truly is. It's fantastic. We just did a video together, and it was for one of her songs. And so I got my horses together, and we're out there, and she is on one of my horses, and she has on these bell bottoms with fringe and these pointy-toed boots and like a scarf, like a leopard scarf and all this, and her nails and everything. And she's like, social media. And so I get my phone out and I'm like, yeah, this is good. I'm going to use this. So I start zooming in and I'm like, I become Steve the Crocodile Hunter. And I was like, there she is. This is very rare. We spotted an LA cowgirl here in the hill country on a horse. You never see them on a horse. She seems to be pretty steady here. She must have a good core. There she is. How can you spot an LA cowgirl? Obviously, the bell bottoms, the fringe, the glitter. There's bracelets all over the wrists. It's really amazing. Look at the lips. That's a lip plumper for sure. Fake lashes. That's your LA cowgirl in the wild. She goes, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. Just watching you on your social media, that's all. She's like, were you filming me? I was like, no, girl, no. So I posted on my Facebook. She's like, oh my gosh. Anywho's, she's coming here. And so we were talking about doing the show together.
Nice. Yeah.
Because then we can rag on each other the entire time. It'll be great. It'll be good. And what's really, my kids call her Auntie Rachel. It's like, tell them Auntie Rachel loves them. They're going to love her one day. They'll be like, help me put my lashes on. I have a date.
Yeah.
She do it.
So this is the song that she loves. It's a song that I wrote with Ryan Murphy about my ex-husband.
Which one?
We can keep that one. And where's this? And cut. Okay. But this is one that I wrote for my first ex-husband. And we would just have these conversations, right? We do this when we're married. We have these conversations, and we think that, oh, I hear you. I understand how you feel and what you're saying, because that's what the therapist told me to say. Really, what I'm thinking is, you're a dumbass. You're still a dumbass. That still makes no sense. But you're agreeing because that's what we do. And then at the very end, when you think you've been heard, and he's like, okay, I think this. I'm like, oh, thank God, you finally get it. You got it. It only took an hour and a half. I'm exhausted. And then they repeat the first thing that they said. Like, that's it. I quit. I'm done. That's what this is all about. You can knock me down, but I'll get up. There's a piece of me that you can't touch. Save your breath. You can scream out loud and cry and shout. You'll never know what I'm about. Save your breath. Never listened anyway. What else is there left to say? Don't try to change me, rearrange me. You don't make me who I am. You can't save me. Don't try to break me. Save your breath. You're up and down like a merry-go-round. You're so lost you can't be found. Save your breath. Your lies come down like an avalanche. You come to me for a second chance. Save your breath. Never listened anyway. What else is it left to say? Don't try to change me, rearrange me. You don't make me who I am. You can't save me. Don't try to break me. Save your breath. Save your breath. Save your breath. Help me out right here. Do 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 do. Save your breath.
Too. She's not country.
Who?
Alanis Morissette. I can see her doing that song.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be cool. Carrie Underwood. I don't care who cuts it. That'd be great.
Yeah. Just send the mailbox.
That would be great. So, I have to play you a little song about tequila. I wrote this for so many people, but technically I wrote this for Mama Locke and a guy named Little Joe. And Mama Locke was Pootie Locke's mom. Pootie was Willie's stage manager for, over 35 years. And he's since passed away, but he supported my career for many, many years and was a very dear friend of mine. And was part of the reason that I got on Farm Aid and the original Willie birthdays that he had. Not the picnics. That was Freddie Powers and Catherine Powers that got me on those. They were like, hey, listen to her. She's great. Here. And I'm like, okay, sing a song. And so his mom would come to my shows and sit right up front. And she was 81 years old. And she would drink an entire bottle of tequila straight out of the bottle. Oh. And she would dance and sing in her chair. And at the end of the night, she'd fold up her little chair and she'd say, good night, darling. That was beautiful. And she set her little bottle down with a tip and then she'd walk off with her little stool. And I'm like, how is she standing? How is she standing? Amazing. And so the other person that I included in this comedic little song was a guy named Little Joe. And Little Joe has a group called Little Joe y La Familia, and he is like the Tejano Willie Nelson. And I'm still friends with his family. And actually, this is kind of funny for me, being from Texas. So today, I just found out that Little Joe y La Familia is including me in their spice collection.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's called Tex-Mex, and I'm going to have my own spice for steaks and fish and all kinds of stuff, even like watermelon and things of that nature with my picture on it, my autograph, Tex-Mex. Yeah. Woo! I'm super excited.
That's very cool.
I'm like, hey, my kids drink a lot of Dr. Pepper. Can we get that sponsorship as well? Tambien, amigo, come on. So this is a tribute to him. The first time I met him was at Billy Bob's. And I went, his son Ivan said, come backstage, my dad wants to meet you. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I go backstage, and my ex-husband was there. So much fun. All I need is the cornfield now and the little checkered shirt and some boobs. So if you could put some more money in the tip jar. It's a fast one. I snuck that one in there. And so he said, come backstage. I was like, okay. So I grabbed my ex-husband. I'm like, come on. So we go back there, and I says, come on the bus. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, you're coming, right, ex-husband? Come on the bus, because we don't know what's going on here. And, behind the bar, on the bus, all this stuff. And so then he says, come to the back of the bus. And I'm like, oh, it's getting crazier and crazier. I'm like, go to the back of the bus. We get back there. He's just chilling, having some tequila. And he's like, hey, come on back. Have a seat. He's the nicest human being. And he has like tortillas, homemade tortillas from his mom. He's like, you want some? You want a shot of tequila? I'm like, sure. Because who doesn't do that with the Willie Nelson of Tejano? Hello. And so we sat there and had the best time. And so the next time he played at Billy Bob's, he invited me on stage. And the only reason I knew how big this was is because I worked at a radio station in Round Rock, Texas. And I was the only person that got to stay because I spoke Spanish. And so I got to go and be on the radio. So nobody knew that there was this blue-eyed, blonde-haired girl, this Rubia, behind the mic. And I'd be like, Más música, menos weedy weedy. I was making money, y'all. Back when I was 17, was that 15 years ago now. And so this is all about Mama Locke and Little Joe. Cuties, sing along. Quit licking yourself. It's so inappropriate. ¿Cómo se dice inappropriate? She don't call it tequila. She calls it the yellow wine. De la planta agave don't come from the fruit of the vine. It's a drink of the people from way down south of the border. So bartender, set 'em up, bartender, please take
straight from the bottle. Chiquito Jose sits at George's all day, drinking his fill full throttle. He asked her, por qué do you say it that way? Where I come from, we call it tequila. And they sit there all day, watching time slip away, sharing Joe's homemade tortillas. She don't call it tequila, she calls it the yellow wine. De la planta agave don't come from the fruit of the vine. It's a drink of the people way down south of the border. So bartender, said I'm a bartender, please take my order. So Little Joe is famous for something that he does in his shows. Have you ever heard of a grito? Okay, it goes like this. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so we're going to try that together. You take all that emotion, all the bad, and all the good, and you mix it all up, and you let it out. Here we go. It's pretty good. We sound like a bunch of white coyotes. She don't call it tequila, she calls it the yellow wine. De la planta agave don't come from the fruit of the vine. It's a drink of the people way down south of the border. So bartender, said I'm a bartender, please take my order. Don't drink margarita, she likes it straight from the bottle. Chiquito Jose sits at George's all day, drinking his fill full throttle. And as time slips away in that little cafe, he says, tell me the secret, amiga. You're not from here and it shows, and if you are, then you know. That's how we say it in Waco. You all know, because you know Wacko from Waco. She don't call it tequila, she calls it the yellow wine. De la planta agave don't come from the fruit of the vine. It's a drink of the people way down south of the border. So bartender, said my bartender, please take my order. So bartender, said my bartender, please take my order. I got distracted in my own brain, because this is what happens when you're playing music. You're not thinking about what's going on. You're thinking about 10 different things. It's true. You're like, do the kids have homework? How many people are here? Are they enjoying it? What's going on? It's kind of hot. It's kind of cold. I think I'd like a sip of water. Why is my dog on stage every time I do something in Spanish? She sabes español, don't you, cutie? Cutie. So my kids actually know quite a bit of Spanish. Come here. Come here. Let's say hello. Yeah. Hey, baby, ¿qué pasó? Thought you were my only pero. That's the way we sing it. My kids actually know Spanish because of this dog right here. Yeah, I was nominated for a Grammy in the Latin Grammys because of people like Augie Myers, because I sang some harmonies and sang on a record that got nominated. We didn't win. We didn't get to wear an outfits. You know, in Tex-Mex, you have to add an S to everything. That's bullshits. It's true, isn't it, cutie? It is bullshits. I'm leaving. My girls talk that way. I call it Tex-Mexican. I was like, you can't do that. No, not in public, only at the house. She's like, I need más leche. All right. So I always finish out the night with this song because back before I had children, I used to take my animals on tour. Remember, I rescue things. Deer, goats, dogs, cats, cowboys, pot-bellied pigs. And I would ride my horse into the bar, and I rode my horse into the Rocket Cafe. We were talking about that tonight. And I lived in Sunset Valley for a while, which is its own little entity in Austin, and with its own taxes and everything. And the cops there were great. So they're like, everything cool? I'm like, yeah, come over when you're done. Yeah, see you in a little bit. So it was like the Old West. It was fantastic. And so all the cops were on my side, and we'd have a big party. And so my horse, I would ride her at night because it's cooler in Texas to ride at night. In the summer, you don't ride during the day. Or they know that you're an LA cowgirl. See what I did there? And so I was riding her around at midnight before I had children and had to get up at 5:30 in the morning every weekday. And I heard this music. And I was like, what is that? And so I just kept riding through these little trails in Sunset Valley, which actually takes you up to like Schlotsky's and Old Navy and stuff like that on the backside. And I came through this neighborhood, and it was a band. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I wonder who it is. I got closer, and I was like, couldn't figure it out. And so I was like, well, I'll just ride on through. And I came through the bushes, and they were like, ah. They all stopped. And I was like, oh, my gosh, that's Lucinda Williams.
Oh, wow.
Apparently, one of her musicians lived in South Austin, and they were having band rehearsal, and she goes, Pauline Reese? And I was like, you know my name. That's almost like a Grammy in itself right there.
Oh,
I was like, yeah. And she's like, what are you doing riding through the bushes at midnight on a horse? And I was like, I don't have kids. Nothing better to do. Do you need some harmonies? Want me to play some guitar? So we became friends. She's actually on the Grammy board. She's got my back. And she tells that story anytime we're together. She's like, you know how I met Pauline? She rode through the bushes on her horse. Band rehearsal. So I always dedicate this to her. More power to more women in this industry of toughness for women. I told my baby one more time, don't make me sit all alone and cry. Well, it's over, I know it, but I can't let go. I'm like a fish out of water, a cat in a tree. You don't even want to talk to me. Well, it's over, I know it, but I can't let go. Yeah, he won't take me back when I come around. Says he's sorry, then he puts me out. I got a big chain around my neck, and I'm going down like a train wreck. Well, it's over, I know it, but I can't let go. You see, I got a candle that burns so bright in my window most every night. Well, it's over, I know it, but I can't let go. You don't like seeing me standing around. I feel like I've been shot and didn't fall down. Well, it's over, I know it, but I can't let go. Yeah, he won't take me back when I come around. Says he's sorry, then he puts me out. I got a big chain around my neck, and I'm going down like a train wreck. Well, it's over, I know it, but I can't let go. It's where all those drum lessons that I paid for would come in handy right now for my daughters. Around every corner there's some I see, brings it right back to how it used to be. Well, it's over, I know it, but I can't let go. You don't like to see me standing around, and I feel like I've been shot and didn't fall down. Well, it's over, I know it, but I can't let go. Yeah, he won't take me back when I come around. Says he's sorry, then he puts me out. I got a big chain around my neck, and I'm going down like a train wreck. Well, it's over, I know it, but I can't let go. Yeah, he won't take me back when I come around. Says he's sorry, then he puts me out. I got a big chain around my neck and I'm going down. Katrina, your egg, well, it's over. I know it, but I can't let go. Yeah, it's over. I know it, but I can't let go. Yeah, it's over. I know it, but I can't let go. I wanna wring his neck, and it's over, but I can't let go. I wanna cut things off, and it's over, but I can't let go. He's with our babysitter. It's weird, and I can't let go. She's much older than me, so have fun with that. I can't let go. I said it's over, baby. I know it, but I can't let go. Thank you so much. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Helen. Thank you to all of you for staying up past all of our bedtimes. My name's Pauline Reese.